Hi and welcome to the DE Physical Education Flip Learning videos. Hi, and within this video we're going to look at the assessment sheet using a Vlookup within the Excel spreadsheet. This should increase the speed it takes you to create this document. However, you just need to double check the formulas to ensure that it's correct all the way through, or it will give you errors. So this one is slightly more advanced technology wise, but it should in the long term save you time. So when we come to our document here, you have your kids' names, you have their grades, blah, blah, blah. You just started marking it. What we want to do, instead of going through every single one where it says positive written comment, instead of having to write in every single exam question, I want to make it so the computer looks in this section here, finds what question it is, it then looks on this page here, finds the question, and then automatically puts it in with the written answers. Right? So in the future, when I come to do it, I'll just have to type in the number and then it will do the rest. So how are we going to do this? We'll go into the column we want to put the data into. So for example here, we're looking at L2. I'm going to go equals Vlookup. So it should come up here. It's then going to give us all these options here. So the first thing here is looking, where does it want you to find it from? So I want it to look in this cell here. I want it to look in this cell, and then put a comma. Then where do I want it to find the data? I'm going to this spreadsheet. I want it to look in every single one of these columns and find, for example, question 25. It's going to find the written version of question 25. And then which column I want it to look at. So which column I want it to look at within this spreadsheet. So let's just get rid of that. So within this column, I want it to give me the information from column 2. So I type in number 2, and then I want it to give me an exact match. So if it doesn't say Q23 in this example, it won't give me the information that's here. If I'd just put 23, it'll just come up with an error. And then I do a close bracket to close it off. So hopefully you can see from that. It has now looked from column F, so it's found question 3. It's then looked onto the second tab. It's found the information for question 3, what you need for an endurance athlete. It has then put the answer, or the written version, here. Right. So far that was pretty simple. If I want to make it do the same thing across all of them, and I want to make sure that it only looks in those tables, I have to have dollar signs within this bit here, because that forces the computer to only look in the table that we've already set it up to do so. So like this, and that will force the computer to only look on that column here when I change the formula. To make it nice and simple, you just drag it down to however long your thing is. Where it's saying NA, there's an error somewhere, so either it can't find question 20, or on this sheet here, question 20 is written slightly different, so you need to just double check that and make sure it all works. But as you can see from the formulas here, it's changed the column it's looking into. So it's gone from looking at this cell here. So on this one, it's looking at cell F2. And then on the next one, it's looking at cell F3, F4, and so on until the end of my document. To make sure it does it for all of them, you'd have to repeat this process. So the easiest thing to do is just drag it across. And again, you can now see that it's looking in G2. So it's looking here. It's still, because it's got the dollar signs, only looking in that table on the other page. But if we drag it all the way across, it'll do all of our ones for us. It's saying NA because there's nothing in these columns here. And then again, if we drag it down, it should give us all of our data for all of our students. When it says NA, it's usually just because this box here is empty. As you can see, it's changing. If we add each one, it will change for each document. The only other way it would say NA is if there's an issue. So the easiest thing to do is just to retype the formula to this formula here and start over. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or tweet me. Cheers.